Anyways, we've got this. Every hidden advantage of your blood type explained by the Stickman scientist. Yeah, let's see. Fun fact, I'm an adult man. I don't know my blood type. I do not know. I do not know my blood type. The more you know. I don't.
O positive. O positive is the single most common blood type in the world, carried by roughly 4 out of every 10 people. What makes it remarkable is its reach. A unit of O positive blood can be
transferred to like a lot of people. That's what I know. It is pretty useful.
Transfused into any patient who is Rh positive, whether they are A, B, AB, or O themselves. This gives it enormous medical importance, since in emergencies doctors can use it to stabilize the majority of patients. Its abundance also means that blood banks depend heavily on O-positive donors to keep hospitals supplied. From an evolutionary perspective, the O type has shaped human survival in several ways. The absence of A and B antigens reduces the ability of Plasmodium falciparum, the parasite responsible for the deadliest form of malaria, to cause red blood cells to clump together.
Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't know that, my blood type. I don't remember it since it's the most useless. I've never checked. I have never checked my own blood type. I've never done that. And I should do that probably. I should check what my blood type is, but I do not know. That's because I also barely go to the doctor. The lion is not concerned with a long life, but a full life.
Together, lowering the risk of severe malaria in O carriers. Anthropologists also suggest that type O may have been advantageous for hunter-gatherer populations, since their immune profile and digestive adaptation favored high-protein diets and exposure to wild pathogens.
Well, that would also make sense why it's so much there, why there is so much of it. Because it's the most versatile, I guess?
Long before agriculture reshaped human health. On the other hand, the exposed H antigen on O blood cells can be a point of entry for certain pathogens, which is why O individuals are more vulnerable to severe cases of cholera and norovirus. Another trait is that O blood types usually have...
Thankfully, cholera isn't really a thing, and I don't know what the Nova virus is. What is that? I wouldn't want to know.
Have lower baseline levels of clotting factors, such as von Willebrand factor, which protects against life-threatening clots, but can...
Ooh, less likely to clot as well, huh? Cool. Interesting. I've learned more from YouTube than school these days. Normal.
Increase the risk of bleeding in some situations. A positive. A positive is the second most common blood type worldwide, found in about 3 out of every 10 people. Its defining feature is the presence of A antigens and the RHD factor on the surface of red blood cells, which means...
Okay, most common, interesting, A+. Again, I don't know. I know that my sister has O+. I'm pretty sure it was O. I don't know if it was O+ or a minus, but it was O. I'm pretty sure of that. Already building my making my a base. Nice, cool.
Means A positive individuals can safely receive blood from both A and O positive donors. Medically, this provides a broad pool of compatible transfusions, making it one of the easiest blood types to manage in hospitals. Its high prevalence also ensures that blood banks can maintain steady reserves for emergencies. Beyond its medical role, type A carries evolutionary and immunological traits that shaped how populations adapted through history. The A antigen has been linked to a stronger immune response against certain bacterial infections, particularly those that spread in dense agricultural communities where hygiene challenges were greater. This may explain why the frequency of type A increased as humans transitioned from hunter-gatherer societies to settled farming civilizations.
Would that mean that in current cultures where there is a lot of farming still, that these people oftentimes would have more A+ than anywhere else? Out of curiosity, I could see that. I could see that, right? Because there is cultures where farming is still an integral part of their culture, and like economic system, right? So I could see that.
However, the same antigen that provides these defenses has also been associated with higher risks of clotting disorders and certain cardiovascular conditions, showing how evolution balances advantage with vulnerability. B positive. B-positive blood is carried by about 1 in 10 people, making it less common than both.
That's somewhat rare. That's somewhat rare. That is somewhat rare. I wonder what the rarest one is out of all of these.
Both O and A types, but still significant in the global population. It is defined by the presence of B antigens on red blood cells along with the Rhd factor. In transfusions, B-positive individuals can safely receive blood from B-positive, B-negative, O-positive, and O-negative donors.
Ooh. I mean, O-positive makes sense. B-positive. Nice joke. Yeah. Interesting. So 4 possible options,
giving them a moderate range of compatibility. Because of its lower frequency, however, maintaining adequate supplies of B-positive blood requires more targeted donation drives compared to O and A types. From an evolutionary perspective, type B shows a fascinating distribution pattern. It is particularly concentrated in parts of Asia and the Middle East, suggesting that ancient population movements and selective pressures allowed it to spread unevenly across the globe. Research also links the B antigen with altered susceptibility to certain infections, offering protection against some bacteria while creating vulnerabilities to others. At the same time, the B type has been noted in studies of metabolism, with some evidence pointing toward differences in how carbohydrates and fats are processed. These subtle distinctions reveal how blood types are more than transfusion categories. They are evolutionary fingerprints reflecting how humans adapted to different environments over thousands of years. A B positive. A B positive is the rarest of the major positive blood types.
The rarest? How many people do have that? That's gonna be interesting.
Types, carried by less than 5% of the global population.
Less than 5%? Well, you need some steady targeted, steady targeted donations. Goodness gracious.
Its defining trait is that red blood cells display both A and B antigens, along with the Rhd factor. Because of this full antigen set, AB-positive individuals can receive red cells from any donor, A, B, or O, whether positive or negative. This makes them the universal recipient in transfusion medicine, a unique advantage when blood supplies are limited or emergencies demand quick compatibility. Evolutionary studies suggest that AB is the youngest blood type, emerging only a few thousand years ago through the mixing of A and B populations. Its rarity makes it valuable to researchers studying genetic diversity, since it represents a blending of 2 distinct antigen systems into one. The same antigens that provide broad...
Interesting. So, but why aren't there other combinations then? Why did A and B plus mix? Wait, does that mean there's also an A and B minus? Or AB negative in this case? We're gonna see.
Transfusion compatibility, however, are linked with trade-offs. Type A, B individuals show higher susceptibility to certain clotting and vascular conditions compared to O types. Still, carrying AB positive means belonging to one of the smallest global blood groups while possessing the widest transfusion safety net. An unusual...
Okay, let me look at it. So, how much can somebody get?
Possessing the widest transfusion safety net.
O minus, AB, B positive, O positive, A negative, AB negative, so there's AB negative, B negative, and A positive. Yeah, you can literally just get it almost from everyone. That's really cool. Actually, that's kind of useful. There must be side effects there.
An unusual evolutionary combination of scarcity and advantage. O negative. O negative is one of the most critical blood types in medicine, despite being carried by less than 7% of the global population. Its defining feature is the complete absence of A, B, and Rhd antigens on the surface of red blood cells. Because of this, O negative can be transfused into anyone regardless of their blood type, making it the...
Oh, that's pretty cool. It can go to everyone. Interesting. Universal donor. Oh, negative.
Universal donor for red cell transfusions. In emergency rooms and disaster situations where there is no time for blood typing, O negative is the first choice, often saving lives when compatibility testing isn't possible. From an evolutionary standpoint, the scarcity of O negative highlights how unusual it is for individuals to lack all 3 major antigens. Its absence of markers lowers risks of dangerous immune reactions in transfusions, but it also comes with vulnerabilities. O types in general are more prone to severe cholera and norovirus infections due to the exposed H antigen, and without the Rhd factor, O-negative mothers must be closely monitored in pregnancy to prevent hemolytic disease of the.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna check if my fiance what blood type she has. Concerning. Interesting. Is there anything for men too?
Newborn. Still, its unmatched medical utility makes O-negative carriers disproportionately important to global blood supply, granting them an evolutionary legacy as silent protectors in every health system. A-negative. A-negative is one of the rarer blood types, present in less than 2% of the global population.
What do you mean more rare? That's essentially non-existent. Damn. A-negative, lower than 2% is crazy. I know what my blood is. Me neither. Either way, last time I went to donate blood, they didn't want it. Apparently, I'm too thin to donate blood. That's interesting. I've never donated blood in my life. I'm just too scared.
Its red blood cells carry the A antigen but lack the Rhd factor, which limits compatibility in transfusion. A-negative individuals can safely receive blood from A-negative and O-negative donors only, making their donor pool relatively.
That's oh, they're cooked. I mean, yeah, that's rough.
Small. In clinical practice, this scarcity makes every donation of A-negative blood especially valuable, as it may be the only safe option for patients with this type. From an evolutionary perspective, the A antigen has been associated with stronger immune defenses against certain bacterial infections, a possible advantage in ancient farming societies where crowded living increased disease exposure. However, the absence of the Rhd factor adds a complication in pregnancy. If an A-negative mother carries an Rh-positive child, her immune system can produce antibodies that endanger the baby.
Oh, so that's where that's coming from. I heard that that can happen, right? Where, like, a woman's own body attacks the child. Yeah. So that's what this is. That's where this is coming from. Okay, cool, interesting to know.
Baby's red blood cells. Modern medicine controls this risk with preventive treatment, but in earlier eras it likely influenced survival and reproduction. The combination of rarity, immune strength, and reproductive challenges makes A-negative a blood type with both hidden protections and delicate vulnerabilities. B-negative. B-negative is one of the rarest blood types, found in only about 1% of the global.
That is interesting. Holy! Bro, I'm assuming only B negative and an O negative. I'm assuming that's going to be the case.
Population. It is defined by the presence of B antigens on red blood cells, but the absence of the Rhd factor. Because of this configuration, B-negative individuals can only safely receive blood from B-negative or O-negative donors.
Yep, okay, that makes sense. That's rough.
Making their transfusion options very limited. In hospitals, this scarcity means that B-negative donations are carefully managed and considered high priority for patients who rely on them. From an evolutionary perspective, type B likely spread unevenly across ancient populations, with higher concentrations in parts of Asia and lower concentrations in parts of Africa and Europe representation in Europe and the Americas. The absence of the Rhd factor further narrows its distribution, contributing to its extreme rarity today. Some studies suggest that B carriers may show altered responses to certain bacterial and viral infections compared to other groups, reflecting subtle evolutionary trade-offs in immunity. As a result, B-negative individuals stand out not only for their scarcity, but also for carrying one of the most selectively distributed antigen profiles in humans.
Interesting. But, well, if you're not careful, couldn't these just then also die out eventually? I mean, they're 1%.
Human history. A B-negative. A B-negative is the rarest of the 8 main blood types, carried by less than 0.5% of the global population.
Bro. I'm assuming A negative, B negative, and O negative? Or just O negative?
Its red blood cells display both A and B antigens, but lack the Rhd factor, a combination that makes it extremely uncommon. In transfusion medicine, AB negative plasma is particularly valuable because it can be given to patients of any blood type, making it a universal plasma donor.
Oh, that's cool. The plasma. Obviously not the blood, but the plasma is interesting.
However, AB negative red cells are highly restricted in availability, and patients with this type can only receive blood from AB negative, A negative, B negative, or O negative donors.
Okay, I guess that's still not as bad as like a B negative and A negative. It's still bad.
From an evolutionary perspective, AB itself is the youngest blood type, thought to have arisen only a few thousand years ago from the mixing of A and B populations. The additional absence of RHD makes AB negative even more exceptional, turning it into a genetic outlier across human populations. This rarity highlights both the diversity and fragility of blood type inheritance. AB negative carriers represent a small fraction of humanity, yet hold uniquely important plasma for transfusion medicine. In terms of ancestry, possessing AB...
I wonder what stops AO and BO from combining. Interesting.
negative is like carrying the rarest blend of all the major antigenic traits, a biological fingerprint that stands at the extreme edge of human variation. Don't just watch the world, subscribe, and understand it.
We good. Interesting. I didn't know that all of that about blood types. I mean, I don't even know my own blood type. I maybe actually should be checking that for real. I should be. Obviously, I'm not doing that. I swear science is interesting as shit. True and real. But yeah, I should probably check my own too, because damn, that could be useful. And probably I should get everyone in my family to check theirs, just to know what's going on. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.